Well, speaking of feeling the pain, we've just spoken about the ABC and the fact that they're being taken to court by racing and rugby league sort of gun Peter V'landys. Here's a story on the front page of the Sydney Morning Herald. Minister pushes ABC to sell city offices. The ABC has been urged to consider selling its capital city offices in areas such as Sydney's Ultimo and Melbourne's Southbank and moving to purpose-built facilities elsewhere. Federal Communications Minister Paul Fletcher strongly encouraged the public broadcaster to explore a sale of its inner-city premises as it grapples with a funding freeze projected to shave $84 million off its annual budget. Damien, what do you think? I mean, this is a tough one for the ABC because, you know, an $84 million cut in its budget is a significant amount. But maybe they've just got to bite the bullet on this.
Yeah, look, it seems like a very simple and straightforward measure that could be taken to reduce the cost base, is to actually free up some money by, you know, surrendering some of this prime real estate that they occupy in most of our capital cities. You know, I've seen, you know, they've got beautiful offices at Southbank, which, you know, are freshly built. They're fairly brand new, absolutely the best spot in the whole city as far as a media organisation could go. So just whether that's giving optimum value for money, as far as, you know, does the ABC need these top-tier property footprints when really their job is to provide a service? And certainly coming from the bush, I think they could do more as far as bulking up their journalism resources out there.
This is something that the Queensland Senator James McGrath has been pushing for in terms of them getting rid of their inner city offices, selling them off and moving out into regional and rural Australia. Look, I was, as a young journo in Sydney working for the ABC, I was there when I was part of the ones who moved from William Street to Ultimo when they first opened it in the 1990s. The issue for me is not whether they've got offices in the middle of the city. It's whether the actual focus in terms of news is not just in inner city Sydney, in Canberra or in the cafes of Melbourne, but whether the ABC is servicing regional and rural Australia as well as those parts. It is the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, not the Sydney Broadcasting Corporation. That's always been the concern of me as someone who is very proud to have worked for the ABC as a younger journalist.
Well, anecdotally, I mean, you know, I talk to a lot of people in regional areas and in the bush, and you know, they feel as though the ABC has sold them down the gurgler in recent years. That's a personal opinion, and that's their personal opinion.
Well, having worked for the ABC in Longreach out there in Queensland, you know, I can remember how important the ABC was in those, and worked in regional areas for the ABC, how important the ABC, and they still wanted to be important. They still see it as an important part of the fabric for their community. They do get concerned the fact that there's a bit too much focus on Sydney and Melbourne and Canberra, not their regional and rural areas.
The great thing about the current sort of media ownership laws and the broadcasting capabilities in this country is that they do have a choice now. You know, they can watch Sky News, they can watch Win, where they get fantastic content on the Sky News Win channel.
I talk to love that Sky's broadcast on the Win network.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it's a terrific alternative.